Good day, happy coders. Welcome back to Bug Array. And if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you're notified for next time I drop. In case you're wondering what Bug Array is about, this is a channel where I'll be sharing my knowledge that I've gained throughout my journey as a software engineer. As you can see on the screen, we'll be creating a login and registration page for our TODO Web application. So what to expect from this video? So first and foremost, we'll be walking through our FIGMA designs for the two pages that we're going to be creating, which is going to be the login and our registration page. So as you can see here on the side, this will be our login page, and this will then also be our registration page, right? So yeah, and another thing to note, we'll be creating a mobile web application using Angular. So now with all that being said, now let's just get to work. Before we even touch code, let's go through our designs. So this over here on the left is our login page, and this will be our registration page, right? So what we want to do is actually, by looking at these designs, we actually want to see what's actually common in the pages so that we can actually create some CSS variables in our themes folder, right? But by just looking at this, we see that we've got a logo, right, on both pages. And then we want to check the spacings, right? So we need to go to inspect for that. We can see that we've got like the spacing, which is 24 pixels to the left and right, 24 pixels to the left and right of our button. And also on this page, we see that they're using like the same amount of spacing to the left and right, right? And then what we also see that we've got a constant spacing between our input box, which is 16 pixels, the same 16 pixels here, right? And then just below the button and this confirm, we've got a 24 pixels. So that's common. And then another thing that we see that is common just by looking at these pages is actually the font size for these actual I don't have an account and the forgot button, the forgot password. And then we also have this 12 pixels for that label as well. What's actually also common is the color that they're using here in these buttons. So we'd also want to check this. So the text for the button is actually 14 pixels, right? So we're just looking at that. Now we can now actually create stuff in our themes.scss. So what I've done already for us is download these images and this icon. So what I'm going to do now is actually go over into our project folder, right? Okay. So in my downloads, I've got this. So these are what I want. So actually copy these, go to my desktop, TODO SCSS, and then I'll just paste these here, right? And then open this file. So I've already created a project, right? After creating a project, we've got this themes folder that I created and these empty themes.scss. So what I want to first create over here is actually our primary color, right? So on our primary color, from what we have in our designs, is actually this color for our button, right? So paste that there. And then we want to have padding 24. Want to say, yeah, let me just say this is padding 24, right? And then this will be 24 pixels. and this will be padding 16. This will be 16 pixels. Padding 24 and padding 16. Right, and then what else do we want to have? We want to have a font size of 12, which is going to be 12 pixels. We're going to have a font size of 16. A font size of 16, which is going to be our 16 pixels. Right, so that's done. Oh, we also need the color for this text. So there they're using this RGB for that color. So this will be actually our secondary color. So secondary color will actually be that color. Oh, this doesn't need this hex. And then this will be a dollar sign. So just to space it out and actually have comments, these are for our colors, these are for our spacings, and then this is for font size. Right, another thing I didn't check is the font family they're using. So this is what they're using for the fonts family. So we can have go to Google font, right? So we can actually get the font that we want, right? So this is the actual font that we want. All right, then we'll copy probably just 300. We'll add 300. Want to add 400, 500, and then for bold as well. I don't think we'll get up to extra bold, but we can add 600. And yeah, that's it that we'll need. Yeah, I think that's it that we'll probably need. For our import, this is what we'll actually need, this whole import, and this is going to be imported in our styles.scss, right? Yeah, we import these, right? So what we want to have is actually for our body /HTML page, want to have a font family, font family of that, yeah, font family of that. I don't know if that was fine. Oh, I think I need to close this out first. And then we want to have a padding, right, which is going to be of 0 pixels, and then we want to have our box sizing to border box, right? Box sizing to border box, and margin should be set to 0 pixels, right? But we see that we're going to be using 0 pixels quite a lot, so we'll just have a 0 padding variable over here, and then we'll just say $. Then we'll have to obviously import this, so we'll import from our src and themes.scss. Then instead of having 0 here, we'll use our CSS variable, which is the 0 padding. 0 padding, right? Okay, we've got that sorted out for us. Now we can just run that from our terminal ngserve. Right, but we haven't done much actually in this page. So what we'll need to then actually do is, as we run our application, there's some things that we'll need to actually remove, right? Because we see now our first page has this. So how we can fix that firstly is actually going to our apps .apps HTML and clearing this out, and then having our router outlet and router outlet, right? So this will route to an empty page now, right? So that's fine. So let me stop this first and then just clear. And then what we want to do is actually create pages, right? So the first page that we're going to be creating is our login page. So we want to say in our apps, we want to create a folder which is going to be called pages folder. And in this pages folder, so we'll just go into that directory, app/pages. Right, in this pages folder we want to create our login page, so we'll say ng generate component, which is gonna be called our login page, right? Login or sign in page, right? Another one we can create is the register page, so we'll say ng you can have generate as a full word, generate component, ng generate component register. I think that will also work. Yeah, so it works the same, right? So now we've got our login and our registration page. So we'd want to then create routes to that, but first and foremost, let's actually see what we have in our application. So what we should expect now is actually to still see a blank page, because we're not routing to any page at the moment, right? So I can just now commit this, added the login and the registration page. Added the login and the registration page. Yeah. Okay. So now we want to create our actual routes. So we'll come into our apps.routes. Let me now try to increase. How do I do that? Yeah, try to increase that a bit so that you can actually see what I'm actually doing. I don't know. Yeah, I think this is clear enough. This is so big for me. It's actually hurting my eyes. But anyways, now we're gonna put in here, we'll create a path that we're gonna be using. So this path will be locating us to our login page. Then it will render our component, which is our login component, right? Then we would want to create another object here for our registration. Register. So this will be register component, and then this has to register component, and then just for now we can just say for our empty route we just want to route to our login page, right? So what we should see right now is when we is the application even running? Okay, for our empty path we should go to our login page. So what's happening? Let's see. Oh, it says login cannot start with a slash. Let's see if that's the case. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry, my bad. So the error was our login could not start with a slash. Okay, so let me just inspect this page and actually open a mobile view, because what we want to actually create is actually a mobile web application. So we just want to view this in a mobile view, right? So now let's go back to our designs over here and actually see what we need, right? So what we'll need from this is actually to have this logo centered, right? And have its actual the actual logo spaced from the margin top of 180 pixels, and then from there to there, let's see, can we actually see that the spacing from this to this? Yeah, this is 170 pixels. Okay, fair enough. That's quite fair enough. So what we now can actually do is actually come here to our HTML over here, our login page, and then we'll create our login container. Like having a container, I just love having a container, right? And then what we can most now do is actually now create our content. But we see that with our content is that for our actual input, we want to actually have like a 24 pixels to the left and right. So what can we do? First and foremost, we can render our image over here and just locate that to our assets logo, right? Logo to logo, right? This should be fine to display our logo, right? See what we have. So now the logo is there. We can now see what the actual size is. So the size that they're using for the logo is 187 pixels to the left. 187 by 180. So I think 180 is the height and 187 is the width, right? So now let's set that in our themes.scss. But before we actually even go there, let's okay, let me close this over here, close this project, right? Sorry for that, guys. Before we even do that, let's just create our skeleton for our actual stuff, right? So we know we have got to have an image, and then we'll say our input section, right? We'll have our input section. So in our input section, we'll have our first input and our second input. So this placeholder will be password for that one, and then this placeholder will be username, I think. Let me now close this again. Okay, let me quit this and go to my browser. So what we have, yeah, that, and this is supposed to be email and password, right? So what we want to have over there is actually our email, and then we want to have our password, right? So we've got our email and our password. So now after that has been done, we'll then want to progress to the next section, which is actually now creating our button. So btn login. So this btn login our button will have sign in, right? Did I even spell it right? Okay. This will have sign in. Let me save that and actually see what we have. So yeah, it has sign in. Now let's go about working out our styles, right? Let's go to our actual code, go to our SCSS folder, right? We'd want to import firstly from our src themes.themes.scss, and then we'd want to say our login. When I have a login container, for our login container, we'd want to have for our image tag, want to have a width of 187 pixels and a height of 180 pixels, right? Width and height of 180 pixels. So let's see, that was for our image image. Did that even work out for us? Let's see. 107 by 100, and that's okay, sure. Think that's fine. And then this is actually centered because it's got a margin left of 97 and a margin right of 94. I meant to say 94 by 94. We could use 94 margin, right? Where the top and left, we'll just make it 0. We'll make it 0 for now, top and bottom 0 padding, and then we can have 24 pixels to the left and right? That will center it out for us, right? But now the problem is there's some issue happening here because I don't think this is quite centered properly, right? So how we go about fixing it is setting a box sizing of border box so that the actual padding contains of what we have in the screen, right? So now if I were to now check it out, okay, let me just minimize or close this and this. Let's close that, and now let's actually see what we have. 24 by 24. Okay, yeah, that's fine, but let's set the width to 100%. So yeah, so that's why I didn't want to actually use that, because I don't think the margin is still set to the center properly, right? So if we display flex and then we say flex direction to column, right? Still that's not centered. So how we can now fix the centering of that is actually to actually align item to center, because now since we changed the display flex directions to column, now justify content will actually center it vertically, whereas align items will center it horizontally, right? So just by using that and by removing removing that, and then we'll just want to remove these two guys over there and actually see what we have. Yeah, that will be then nicely centered. All right, so we also saw that the top margin top, so margin top is like 180 pixels if not mistaken. I don't know what they have in our designs, but let's check. Yeah, it's 180 pixels. and then the margin bottom was like 170 pixels. So margin bottom was like 170 pixels. I don't know if that's gonna work out for us. Let's see what we have. Yeah, so that was like 170 pixels. That's quite big, because this also varies with the size of screen that we're using, right? Yeah, so I might do some changes to that, right? Instead of using that 180 by that 170 margin bottom, we can just reduce that to like say 100, right? And then we'll say 120. I think that should also do the trick for us. 100 and 100, 120. Okay, that's fine. And then another thing that we can then do is actually fix our input display, right? So with our input, let's now go to our designs. We see that we've got like this input field, right, which has like some sort of like let me come here. Yeah, this has a border to it, right? This has a box sizing and a border radius of 12 pixels, right? So how we can also cater for the border radius is coming to our themes.scss and actually having an CSS variable for that. So themes.scss. So here we'll have our border radius, right? And then we'll just have our border radius 12, which is 12 pixels, right? Yeah, so we'd want to now create our input section. So with our input section, right, we'll just display that to flex, right? And then set the margin left and right. So margin, first of all and foremost, margin top and bottom will actually be 0 pixels. That's 0 padding. And then our left and right will actually be our padding 24, right? And then display flex direction should be column, right? And then yeah, that's what we need currently. So let's see what we have. So now we have that. Want to ensure that our input is actually filling up the whole width, right? So 100%. So our input, right, width should be 100%, and our height should be what do we have in our designs? So we've got a height of 84 pixels, height of 84, 48, what am I saying, 48 pixels, what, I can't, yeah, I don't know numbers anymore. So this was 100%, but our padding left and right was that. Okay, let's see what we had. So this width over here, so width should have been 100%, Yes. Okay, instead of making it margin, we'll say it's padding, right? And then that will set it properly for us. Let's see. Padding left and right, and then box size to border box. Yeah, so we've got that set up for us where we've got our left and right to 24 pixels to the left and to the right. Okay, and then let's see. So our box sizing will be set to border box, right? And then we're gonna have left and right to that, and then our margin bottom should be set to the padding of 16, right, pixels. So we'll use that 16 pixels for our padding, right? And then our border radius will be set to our border radius, right? 12 pixels, right? And then we need to say our outline will be set to none. Then our border should be set to 1 pixel, solid, and then we just need to determine the color for our border radius, right? So the color for our border radius is actually that secondary color, I think. Secondary color, right? So now let's see what we have. Yeah, that's set out nice for us. So what do we need now? We actually need to fix our actual size, text size. Let's see, text size for our placeholder. So I think with that we can say placeholder. Yeah, this would be placeholder, right? Oh, okay, that's fine. Then font size for placeholder should be 16 pixels. Did we have a font size of 16 pixels? Yeah. So let me just close everything, save that, and then come here and just say font size 16. Then margin left, we'll set that to, let's see what our design actually has instead of just guessing it out. So our design specifies that we've got like some sort of like a 16, is it 16 pixels? 16 pixels, right? Set to padding, this is set to padding 16 pixels, right? Now let's see what we have. Did that even work out for us? Okay, I see what we need to do. Instead of setting that to that, okay, let's see if the and sign is gonna work. Does the and sign even work? Okay, let me see something first before I even get carried away that this thing is not working. So input, want to say input placeholder, right? And then man, let's see, we've got our font size. No, want to say this is our input, right? This is our placeholder. Okay, that's not gonna work. I don't think this is gonna work. Font size equals to 12. Let me just say 16 pixels, right? And let's see. Now that's not working, right? So if we had that into a string, let's see. That's still not working, all right? Okay. Let's just say placeholder font size. Let's just make it 5 pixels. I want to see something. So our placeholder is not working, right? Why is that the case? Let's see. I think there's something I'm doing wrong to actually set this. Oh yeah. Oh, so the 16 pixels would work. So that font size. So you see, sometimes it's just a try and error. So font size 16, right? That's working. And then if we set a margin left of 16 pixels, let's see what we have. Does that even apply, a margin left of 16 pixels? Okay, that's fine, that's fine. If it doesn't, then we'll just set a margin, a padding left, right? Padding left, right, in this of 16 pixels. So we'll just padding, set it to this padding of 16 pixels. Yeah, I think that'll work the trick for us. Yeah, and then we just need to ensure that this is of box sizing to border box, right? Box sizing to border box. Yeah, that's fine. What we have over there. And then another thing that we then want to then create, yeah, see, that took time. And then another thing that we want to create is that since this is a password, we want to specify the type. Yeah, we want to specify the type for that. The type, this is going to be password, right? Password and text. All right. What else can we do? Okay. I think that's fine. But now, what we also need to also cater for this is actually this div, right? This is the password box, right? So for password box, yeah, this is gonna be for our password box, right? So in our password box, so this will be for that, or that's the input. That's for input, and that should be for this password box input. Input, because the input is going to be in this password box, right? Okay, that's fine. But now what I also want to cater for is that this password box, this password box, right? So this password box should actually store also like our image, right? Which is actually that icon. So how we do that is over here, will have some sort of like an image. So this will be like an image, and then this will sort of have like okay, assets I off, right? And then this will be hide password icon, right? Will sort of be like a hide icon password, right? Oh yeah, and then in this box we want to then shrink this image, right? Image, and we'd want to make this image width to be 24 pixels, 24 pixels, and the height for it to actually be 24 pixels, right? So that will be like 24 by 24, which is now fine. 24 by 24. Then we'll just set the margin to 0. So we'll set that to 0 padding, which is also important for us. Okay, yeah. What we then want to do is actually say that this box sizing position is relative, right? Relative. And then we want to set the image, because what we want to do is actually have this icon set inside this box, right? This input box, right? So how we can go about doing that is actually by setting the actual parent div to be relative, and then the child div to be absolute. So position absolute, right? Let's see now what we have. So now the position is absolute, but now that and that, right? All right, that's fine and that's fine. And then how we can then go about then fixing it is just setting the right. So we'll just set the right to like 10%. Let's see what 10% will do for us. 10% is too much. Say we say 10, let's just use run it by 5%. 5-ish%. I think 5% is not bad. And then we want to set the top 0 and bottom 0. Let's see. Top and bottom to 0. Okay, how we can set that up to the middle, right? We want to set the top to 50%. Okay, let me just see. Let me set them to percentage. Let's see if this would work. No, it doesn't work. Okay, like we want to set the top to 50%, right? But after setting the top to 50%, we wouldn't have had this actually fitting everything, right? Image. Okay, over here we'd want to say this icon. We want to say this input over here. We want to have its margin bottom to a 0 padding, right? Because we don't want to have like some sort of like a padding in this actual div, right? So that's going to be set to 0. But now since we've set this to 50%, we'd want to then translate its or transform its and translate its y axis to -50 to just center it now, right? So we'll just say translate y to -50, right? translate transform y to minus 50. No, what am I doing? No, what am I doing? No, we don't want this here, right? We want it here though. Yeah, that will nicely now center it there for that specific image. Now we can see that this is centered properly, right? So we can now refresh this page over here, and we've got things that are just unnecessary that we don't want, and that password. What am I doing now? Okay, yeah, some things that we don't want, right? So now we've also set up this image. This is centered properly, right? But then another thing that we'd like to also do is have another one. This guy over here, this one will be the I think this is the one, if not mistaken. Yeah, this is also centered properly, and then we'll have some sort of controller that shows which one we want to show. So if we say show password, which will be a boolean, this will equal to false, right? Because when we start, we don't want to show this password, right? So this will equal to false. So now if right, if this is an if show password is false, we want to show this guy over here. And then if the show password is true, yes, and then if show password is true, you want to show the I, right? So currently this is what we have. So now let's move on to the next button, which is now actually this no, not the next button. What do we want to have here? Let's see, what's the spacing? This is like probably 15 pixels to the top and bottom of that. So how we can resort to that is actually having a label, right? So what we can do is actually add a label just below this guy. We can have a label, tag label, right? Although I don't like using label. And then we'll just say forgot password. It's forgot password. Let me just copy this guy and paste it here. So this will be for our forgot password, right? And then class forgot password, right? We'll copy that and actually apply some stylings to it. So for the forgot password, we know that this is in our input section. Input section, which is also part of that. Forgot password. So our color for that should actually equate to our secondary color, and then our font size should be that 12 pixels. So that font size 12, right? Yeah, and then what we want to do is actually let me see, how can we then set it to the left, right? We can float that to the left, but I don't think that's like an ideal way of doing it, right? We can just say margin left, no, margin right, right? Set that to 0. Is 0? Let's see. No, that's not gonna work, right? And we don't want to display that to the flex. Let me see. If we say position relative, right? And then we just set the right to 0, 0, yeah, percent. So the position for that is relative. Nah, just text the line. What am I doing? Text the line to the right. Right. If this is not working, then I'm resorting to putting it in a div. Oh yeah, text the line to the right. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we see that this is working for us, right? And then we'll just set a margin top. Top of that, this will be like 15 pixels and a margin. So margin top and bottom, no, margin bottom is 16 pixels. Margin bottom will actually be padding, this padding 16 pixels, right? Yeah, so margin top is 15 pixels and margin bottom is actually 16 pixels, right? So what's next? Now the next thing is actually for us to actually create now the button. So this is for BTN login. Well, we can call that BTN submit. Oh yeah. And put these stylings into our themes, right? So this could be BTN submit, right? And then we can specify the background color to be our primary. No man, this should be our primary color, right? So this should be specified as our primary color. Now let me close off everything. No. So this is BTN submit, right? So our primary color is that. Submit primary color. The primary color is for the background. Our color for our text should be using white color. Why didn't we put white color there? Right, so this is for our white color, and then this will be using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then this is for our white color. Font size, that's for 14 pixels. Display flex, justify our contents to the center, align items to center. What we didn't specify is actually the height and the width of that. So the height that we have for our button is actually also 48 pixels. So height is actually gonna be 48 pixels, and then our width is actually gonna be 100%. Yeah, so width is gonna be 100%. Then we're gonna set our padding. So how we're gonna go about doing that is actually putting this button into some sort of a section. Oh, we can just do this. Put this button into our, yeah. And then instead of input section, we can call this our form section, right? And then instead of input section, we can call this our form section, right? And then check out what we have. Yeah, so we have that, and then we need to set our border radius. Let's see if I think our border radius is the same, which is 12 pixels. Yeah, so we can now come here to our styles and set our border radius. So our border radius is going to be 12 pixels. So this is from our border radius 12, right? Oh yeah, so that's done. Let's see if we actually have, I don't think we have some sort of like a box shadow for this guy. Do we? Nah, we don't have a box shadow. So we see now that we've created actually our page, right? So we've created this actual login page, right? So what then we wanna also do is actually now set our we wanna set our hidden and visibility of our password. So we wanna show and hide our password, right? So currently on what we have here is actually we can just type the password, but when we click on this button, nothing is actually happening to the password, right? So what we can do is actually attach a method to this specific button, right? So we'll have a click and this will be handle password with the visibility. I think that's the way. Yeah, but the spelling doesn't matter. So how we control the password visibility is we'll return how we control it, we'll say this dot show password will equal to not this dot show password, meaning that if the show password is false, now the not show password will be the true then, right? So now what we'll see is just a switch between our icons, right? So we need to render this, right? Is it visibility? Nah, visibility. Is it like that? Visibility. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's visibility. Yeah. So when we click on this button, now we're just switching our icons, right? But we're not actually seeing the text that's in there, right? So how we can fix that is by this and coming right here and then having some sort of like a check to it, right? So this check would say, I think we can have a directive for the type. I don't know. Yeah. And then this type will say if show password, right, is true. If show password is true, then we want to return this as a password, else you want to say a text, right? If show password is not true, right? So if show password is false, right, we want to make it a password, or if it's true, we want to make it a text, right? So with what we have over here, we'll just write our password as Bob123, and then if we click on this, we should see what our password is, right? So that's fine for our login. And then now we're just gonna apply the same logic for our registration, right, page. So for register, oh, there's something I forgot. I forgot this text over here, right? So the spacing between the text and the label should also be 15 pixels, right? Okay. So now let's go to the login, have this label over here, and then just paste it at the bottom here. And then this will be I do not have a password, right? So this will say don't have a password. Don't have a password. I want to sign up, right? So that's fine. So if you don't have a password and you want to sign up, right? That's the case. And then no password, right? So in our styles, we want to have the same styling for the no password, right? And then for no password, right, we also want to change something. So for our text align, we want to set that to center. This is for our text align. We want to set that to the center. That's fine. And then we want to have some sort of like a span, which is going to have a color of our primary color, right? So that's for our span, so that we can change the text for this, right? So this will be made to a span, and then we'll actually paste this here, right? And then this will be sign up. All right, so I think that's fine. Now we want to now go to the section whereby we're actually now creating our registration. So I think that's going to be quite a bit easy, because we can just copy our login, right? And now paste it here, right? So instead of having a login, we'll have a register content, right? We'll have our logo, because we need our logo, right? And then we want to have like an input for the email, the full name, password, and confirm password, right? So we want to have for an email, want to have email, full name, right? Want to have it for password and confirm password. So okay, that's fine, right? Want to have it for password and confirm password. So this will be password, right? And the second one will be confirm password. Confirm password, right? And then over here we want to say show password, which is of type boolean and is equal to false, right? Want to remove our errors over there, and then we want to have this method here in our registration, right? This method over here, which is currently not doing anything, right? Yeah, so that's what we have. So let's say now we go to our /register. Okay, now we should see that we have something, but our stylings aren't yet set properly, right? So what we can do is actually literally just copy this, right, and paste it here, right? Yeah, it's because we've changed this content over here to actually be register instead of register container. So now we should have like the same thing that we had over there. But now what we can change is that like the image top could be like, we can just use 50 pixels and round about 40 pixels, right? For that, 50 and 40. Then another thing that we can now utilize is actually having coming here, because this is for our box. This is for confirm. No, this is for password box. Then this is for confirm box, right? So what we also need to say is that for our confirm box, as though we'll have this password box, but for our confirm box, we want to have a margin top of like a padding of 16 pixels, right? So this will also space out this confirmation box, right? And there's still a couple of things that we want to change over here. First and foremost, we want to remove we'd want to remove this forgot password. So since we removed the forgot password, then I guess we need to remove this. No password, right? Okay. So we remove that forgot password. Confirm and margin bottom should be padding 24 pixels, right? And then what else do we need? Don't have oh, I have a login, so this will not be, this will be as account. So I have an account, so log in, right? So I want to log in because I have an account. So instead of saying no password, right, this will now be have account. Has account. Is there another place where I was using this no password? So has account. So this guy has an account. Then what I then want to do is actually state this, right? Let's come here. So this dot show password will now equal to not this dot show password. So now if I change this guy over here and I change this guy, when I click on that, it's actually gonna change it for both of them, right? So we want to have a show confirm password, right? So which is gonna be a boolean, which is false, right? And then handle confirm password, right? And then this this will actually then say this dot confirm show confirm password equals to nothing. This dot show confirm password. Then visibility. Yeah. Oh, flip. What did I do wrong? Oh, I didn't. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I didn't then do that. Let's see what we have over there. Oh, yeah. There's some logic that we need to fix over here, and which is, instead of now showing this, for the confirm password, I need to use show confirm password. So if not show confirm password, then do all that nice logic, right? So now I see that when I change the one, it should not change the other, right? So this is working. So when I change this one, it's going to show it, but with the icons, it's not working properly, right? Because now the icons are not using, the confirm password is not using this correct variable. Show confirm, right? So now if I test it again, yeah. Okay, so this is fine, but now this is not fine. Okay, yeah. So now let's just try that out and just right click, 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 click. Okay, if we have it on full screen, you'll see that it's actually responsive, but not as nice as we want it to be. So that's why we're using it on a mobile, right? Because this is actually a mobile app, right? And then what we then want to do is, okay, let's commit this. Added registration screen or page, right? Let me remove this. So another thing that we can actually go about fixing is when the user actually clicks on login, right? So if I don't have an account, sign up. So here I'd want to make a click and then redirect to login, right? So this will redirect to the login page. So this method will be somewhere here, and then I want to have like a route. I want to inject this router, which is from this router, right? So what I want to do is say this dot router dot navigate by URL, and then this will be set to register. No, this will be set to login. No, sign up is register. Redirect to register, right? So this is redirect to register, not redirect to login. Register, right? And then here on the registration, we're gonna redirect to login, right? So this is from the private router, this router is from this router, right? Then we want to say this dot router dot navigate by URL, and then this will just navigate to the login page. Redirect, then we want to save that, and then this will be a click event, and then this click event will redirect to login page, right? So what I want this to do is actually, when the user clicks on this, it should redirect them to the other page. Same applies, but yeah, that's fine. But on a mobile view, we'd want to add in like some sort of like a hover event on this. So we want to say like if just a cursor pointer, right? Same here, applies here. So cursor pointer is that. Even on the button itself, that submit button, we want to set the cursor to pointer. But on mobile view, you can't actually see the pointer, right? So already we do have like our two screens. Let's see. Yeah, already we do have like our two screens over here. Another way you can like make this like page sort of like interesting is actually by going about like adding like some form. So this is going to be this reactive forms to it that can actually specify or notify the user if like they haven't actually filled in a specific input. Let's say they touch this input and actually don't fill in anything and then go to the next input. This will then probably tell the user that this field is actually required. So that's a cool thing that you can add to this application, and you can write down on the comments how you went about doing it. If you want some references from it, in my actual YouTube page, so if I go to my YouTube channel, there's actually this video where I actually go about think it's reactive forms. Yeah, so this create reactive forms. You can watch that video. That's actually gonna show you how to actually implement reactive forms to the actual form. So with all that being said, please guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.